Hello and welcome. My name is Delaney Brooks, and I'm going to show you how to build a PBIS matrix. So first off, what is a PBIS matrix? A PBIS matrix is a chart that communicates the roles and positive behavior expectations for school, a classroom, or any other behavior-dependent setting you could be in. This could be used on the bus, this could be used in the library, this could be the cafeteria. It doesn't matter. It can even be used at home. It's just going to be used wherever your student could be. So why do I need a PBIS matrix? A PBIS matrix is useful for teaching, modeling, and reinforcing desirable behaviors with students in multiple locations throughout the school. What do I need before I can make my PBIS matrix? So first, you're going to need to create your PBIS team. Then you'll develop your school-wide expectations and develop expectations for all of your common areas. Why do I need a PBIS team? Well, PBIS teams are necessary for multiple reasons. First, they provide an opportunity for different opinions, ideas, and solutions to be presented. Someone may think of something that you didn't. It also provides us an opportunity to catch mistakes or problems with the ideas presented. Next, task delegations are important to prevent mistakes. They prevent burnout, and you're only one person. You can't do everything alone, and it's so much better to have people supporting and helping you. Voices from all stakeholders means every single kind of staff who can or does have face time with your student. They do more than just sit in your classroom, so why would you not include everyone involved? This is important to hear the ideas and opinions of all people. Maybe they see a different side to the student than you do. Better staff buy-in is due to staff being on the team. If they're involved, they care. If they care, they're going to tell their friends. If they tell their friends, they're probably going to encourage them to participate and share their knowledge. The more staff buy-in, the better the result's going to be. When we change the school environment to be more positive and incentive-based, we reduce the time and energy spent on consequences and discipline. This reduces burnout in both staff and students, and it increases the student's self-esteem. Finally, more people to help implement and enforce the rules and interventions for each tier. This is especially true with our universal tier. The more people who actually know what to do and what they can do, the more students we're going to touch. So, what do I need for a PBIS team? First, you're going to need 5 to 8 members. They're going to be representative of all stakeholders. So this includes every grade level, every content area, someone with a behavior background. You're going to add an administrator, but they're not going to be your team leader. You're going to have someone from the office personnel. You're going to have a non-scholastic representative, like a bus driver, a cafeteria worker, a janitor, a librarian. And a really great optional addition to your team would be a parent, because no one's going to know how these kids are outside of school better than them. Next, you're also going to prevent committee overload by limiting your numbers to 5 to 8 members. This also prevents duplication of efforts. You don't have multiple people working on the same thing separately. So now that you have your 5 to 8 members, you're going to meet regularly, you're going to have a clear agenda and goals, and you're going to start assigning roles. So how do I develop school-wide expectations? Also, how many should I have? Really, you're only going to need 3 to 5. This prevents from having so many rules the kids don't remember and so few that they just do whatever they want. They're going to address overarching problems. They're going to be positive, broad statements. They should be measurable. And they should be agreed upon not only by your PBIS team, but by all staff. Finally, these rules should tie into the school theme and use unifying language. How do I develop expectations for common areas? Well, first, you need to say them positively. Tell students what they should do instead of what they shouldn't do. This is going to become your behavioral curriculum for the school. So let's tie it back to those school-wide expectations that we just made. Some qualities of a good matrix are going to be positive, not vague, relevant, and non-repetitive. Some examples of positive are going to be use appropriate positive language. Tell them what they should do. A non-example would be saying no cursing or yelling, or don't do that. You're using very negative wording, and it doesn't assume the best. When I say not vague, and a good example would be respectful in your responses and actions. A non-example would be respond appropriately. Being appropriate is vague. It doesn't tell you how you respond in a certain situation. It doesn't tell you where the situation takes place. Appropriate is different for different people. So let's try to use a little bit clearer language. When I say relevant, a great example is listing following directions the first time under the following directions tab. A non-example is going to say listing follow directions the first time under accepting consequences. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't belong there. Let's put it where it belongs and make sure that it makes sense. Non-repetitive is pretty self-explanatory. An example would be using specific phrase, accept limitations and directives, only once. If you want to say something similar, find a new similar wording for the next time you're going to use it. A non-example is stating, don't argue, over and over and over through your matrix. It gets kind of... Here I have a PBIS matrix already made. We're going to look at it, we're going to find some problems, and we're going to fix them. So our first category we're going to look at is be here in the classroom setting. It says be on time and pay attention to teacher. These are pretty decent expectations, so we're going to leave them alone. Next, we move into be nice in the classroom. Listen, follow directions. I have a problem with both of these. So listen, we could say a little more. Listen and follow directives the first time. We can combine them down into one thing instead of having to say them in very strict, very rigid directives. Be your best in the classroom. Do your work, be quiet. Well, I don't think be quiet is the best way we could say this. So how about we say, use a voice level indicated by your teacher for the activity. Be here in the hallway. Don't linger, no horseplay. Both of these use very negative language. Don't, no. So how about we change them to move quickly to the next location. Be nice in the hallway. Once again, we see don't. Don't push. Use appropriate voice level. Use an appropriate voice level is a great way to phrase that. However, don't push, we need to change. So we could use keep hands, feet, and objects to yourself instead. Be your best in the hallway. Walk, transition properly. Instead of walk, we could say use calm feet. And instead of just saying transition appropriately, we could say transition appropriately between classes. Give a little more context. In the cafeteria, being here means entering and leaving on time, sitting in our seat. These are both really great, so I'm going to leave them be. Being nice in the cafeteria is using kind words. Don't exclude peers. Instead of saying don't exclude peers, we could change it to be inclusive of peers. Be your best in the cafeteria. Act right, don't yell. Let's try and change that to be a little more positive. Instead, we could say act in an appropriate manner and speak with the appropriate level of tone. And the bathroom being here means don't abuse the privilege. Let's try to clarify that a little more and use some more positive language. Instead, we could say ask permission before using. Being nice in the bathroom, don't bully, don't play. So first off, don't play really doesn't fit under being nice. It's not very relevant. I think it would be best suited under be your best. So we're going to save that for just a minute. Let's look at don't bully. Got some non-positive language. How about we try and say treat others how you want to be treated. Now that we're in be your best in the bathroom, treat property appropriately. It's a great first expectation. And we can move that don't play over and rephrase it to reserve playtime for the gym. Last, we have be here in the gym, be on time, show up. It's a good start, but we could say instead of be on time, we could change it to arrive and dismiss on time, just so we don't have that repetition. In the gym, being nice means using kind hands and words. Already great, good positive language. Being our best in the gym. Play your best, follow directions. That's really great, but let's try and change that follow directions because we see some repetition again. Instead, we could say, listen to the teacher's directives. So here we have our updated matrix to show all those changes we made. Now we're going to build a better matrix. I've already put what our expectations and our locations are going to be. So I built this for a school that uses the term pride a lot. We have Eagle Pride or Bobcat Pride. I'm going to assume that this school is an elementary school, and I'm going to show that these are the main locations that our students are going to be going to: the classroom, hallway, cafeteria, restroom, library, gym. So looking at these, we're going to go ahead and move into our first category, which is be prepared in the classroom. Being prepared in the classroom would mean having all supplies, having homework completed, and arriving on time. They're clear, they're concise, they tell us exactly what we should be doing instead of what we shouldn't. Next, let's move to be respectful in the classroom. Being respectful in the classroom means use kind words and actions, listen when others are speaking, and share class property. Being involved in the classroom means completing all classwork assigned and participating in classroom activities. Following directions in the classroom means complying with directives the first time you're prompted. Remain seated. Use voice level indicated by teacher. Once again, we're telling them exactly what they should do, not what they shouldn't. Be exceptional in the classroom. Try your best, ask for help when needed, and help those around you. In the hallway, being prepared is knowing your schedule and moving directly towards your next destination. Being respectful in the hallway means using a quiet voice level, respecting wall hangings, and honoring personal space. Being involved in the hallway means opening doors for others and helping keep the hallway clear. Following directions in the hallway means keep hallways clear of traffic and follow teacher instructions for where to go. Elementary school kids sometimes forget, or they don't know that maybe we need to take this door instead of this one. So following the directions of the teacher is going to be very important in that. Being exceptional means holding peers to their expectations and reserve your talk and play for appropriate times. Being prepared in the cafeteria means having your card ready and knowing which lunch you want. Being respectful in the cafeteria means remaining in line in your place and saying please and thank you. Being involved in the cafeteria can look like cleaning up your area or alerting an adult to a spill or other mess that you see. Following directions in the cafeteria is going to be sitting where the teacher assigned the table. Maintaining a level 1 or 2 voice. That means you're either whispering or you're talking at a very normal low level. It also means that you're going to raise your hand before you leave your seat. Being exceptional in the cafeteria means that you're cleaning up trash that isn't even yours, and you're helping peers who you see struggling. Being prepared in the restroom means that we're raising our hand for permission to go, and then we're using it quickly and appropriately. Being respectful in the restroom means that we're respecting others' privacy, and we're waiting for our turn quietly. If there's a line, we're not going to just stand there and talk and disturb what other classrooms may be around. Being involved in the restroom means report any problems to the adults. If you see that a toilet's backed up or that the sink's not working, you have to tell someone. Following directions in the restroom means you flush your toilet after using it. You throw your trash away, and you're using a level 0 or 1 voice, which means either you're silent or you're whispering. Being exceptional in the restroom means you're reminding peers of those bathroom expectations and you're holding them accountable. Being prepared for the library means you're bringing back those books you got to return. Being respectful in the library. We're going to use a 0 voice level. Libraries are quiet spaces and we need to be respectful of other people in there. Being involved in the library means helping others find a book. Following directions means you're only selecting 2 books, so that might be the library's rule. You only get 2 books at a time. Being exceptional in the library means you're helping reshelve the books. No one even asked you to, you just volunteered to do it. In the gym, being prepared means you brought your gym clothes. Being respectful means you're keeping kind hands and feet. You're not intentionally hurting other people. Being involved in gym means that you're including your peers in the game and not excluding anyone. Following directions in the gym means you're following directions that first time. When the coach tells you that the game is over, you're stopping what you're doing and you're moving to the next activity. Finally, being exceptional in the gym means we help clean up that equipment. So these were some really, really great directives and expectations that we can put in place in a matrix. They're worded positively. I never reused any. The language is clear and concise. It tells us exactly what we should do. And it makes sense. I never told you to do something in one category that really should have been in another. These are the types of things we need to look for when we're creating our own expectations. So we've finished making our PBIS matrix. What do we do now? Now you take that matrix and you display it all over your school. You put it in classrooms, in the hallways, cafeteria, library, office, anywhere your student's going to be, you're going to have a reminder of what those expectations are. It doesn't have to be the full matrix, but it can be a sign that says pride and has what pride stands for. It could be just a little picture that's reminding of it. It doesn't have to be the full thing, but it does need to be in every location that your students are going to be as a reminder. And now that we have this matrix, we're going to teach it to our students, because how are they supposed to know what to do if we don't tell them? Finally, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to comment or contact me. I would love to offer any advice or support possible to help you build your own PBIS matrix. And if you'd like a copy of the one that I created, just email me at the email below and I will send you the template. Feel free to use it as a guide to build your very own matrix for your school. Well, that's it. I wish you guys the best of luck on making your very own PBIS matrix.